Welcome and welcome back. If this is your first time, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. You have no idea how long it took me to get that. Okay, so if this is your first time, welcome. Like I said, if this is your first time, all of my recipes is easy and delicious to make, and I don't like to keep you waiting. For those of y'all who are returning, I thank you so much. I see you. Please, those who are returning and those who are just tuning in, please continue to watch, like, subscribe. I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. Hit that like button and subscribe. Okay, let's get started. Because like I said, I don't like to keep you waiting. Okay, so I'm coming to you with a delicious treat. I'm going to make cheesecake, blueberry, lemon bars. And I know what you're thinking. There are so many recipes for cheesecake, but watch this. Did I tell you it's no bake? Yeah, so this is the brand I'm using. And I think it's a well-known brand. But guess what? You don't have to use this. You use whatever you have or whatever on sale. But you do want to let it set out overnight or just a couple of hours. You don't want it to be really stiff. You want the cream cheese to be as soft as possible. And this is a really easy dessert. If someone is coming over or you having a dinner and you're like, okay, what am I going to make? This is it. Okay. So again, you want it very soft. And I'll show you why in a minute. Well, I'll tell you why in a minute as well. Okay. So, did I tell you it's no bake? Yep. Now, if this was something that you was going to bake, guess what? It really wouldn't matter too much if it was soft or not. But yeah, since this is a no bake, you want it to be as soft as possible. So leave it out overnight or just take it out a few hours before so it's nice and soft. Okay, there we go with that. So now you see. Now, if you're new to my channel, you know I don't use a blender or anything like that. Well, I try not to. If this wasn't soft, can you put it in a food processor? Yes, you can. Can you put it in a blender? Yes, you can. But like I said, for those of you who've been with me for a while, you know I was intimidated by those things because most of the time I didn't have them. And so then I had to think of a way to make these same dishes using everyday tools, like everyday ingredients. Now, did I tell you blueberry? I think I did say blueberry. Now, I'm using blueberry. Why? Because they were on sale. That's the only reason why. Simply on sale. So, because they're on sale, I'm going to use these. Now, I soak my blueberries. What do I mean by soak? I always put them into water, not water and vinegar. And I rinse them. I let them soak for about 10 minutes and you'll be surprised what you see coming off of them. Even if you buy blueberries or any fruit that says already washed, you still want to be careful and do it yourself. I mean, if you don't, you can be taking a gamble with your health. And that's one thing you don't want to gamble with, because even if they say it was rinsed or washed, you really don't know how well it was. Okay, so that's my PSA. That's my public service announcement. Don't take a gamble. Wash it yourself. Okay, so now after doing that, okay. Now you see I'm mashing this up. You really don't have to. You can leave them whole, and so I'm doing some of them like that. Yeah, you don't have to keep mashing them up. You can have them whole. It's completely up to you. So I'm going to stop right here because some of them is, like I said, mashed and it's releasing the juice, and some of them are whole, and that's just fine. So now what I'm going to come in with, now I don't know if I said blueberry lemon. Did I? Yeah, blueberry lemon. So now I just have some milk, and I'm just going to use some milk just to loosen it up. Now you use any kind of milk that you have in your refrigerator. Don't buy anything special. If you have low-fat milk, oat milk, go right ahead. You can even use water if you have to. Now I'm coming in with about, I would say, how many ounces is this? 4 ounces. And as always, don't worry. Measurements and ingredients will be in the description box. And I'm only adding in that to just loosen it up because it's quite stiff. So now I am going to add sugar. And that's another reason why I add the liquid. Have you ever had a cheesecake and you can actually feel the granulated sugar in your mouth? Yeah, that's because it didn't actually melt. And that can happen in one that's baked or not baked. And I'm coming in with about 5 tablespoons. And as I always say, when you make your dessert, you get to say how sweet you want it to be. Yeah. I have had desserts, and even desserts, I'm trying to fix my camera a little bit, that have been overly sweet. And I know you're probably thinking, well, how can that be as a dessert? Yeah, but some desserts sometimes can be overly sweet. So I'm going to keep stirring. And I'm just mashing it, as you see, up against the bowl to do the job of a blender or a food mixer or a stand mixer or an immersion blender. Yeah, I'm just mashing it against the bowl. Am I concerned that I don't get it completely smooth like you would if it was in a blender? Nope, not at all. Remember, this is for you and your family, right? And this is what I found out. When you make desserts for your kids or for yourself or for anyone, you can spend hours in the kitchen or just, going crazy with the desserts, trying to make it something for your children to love or for you to love or your guests to love. And then you're so tired that you don't even enjoy it. Yeah, you don't even enjoy it. And your loved ones, I'm telling you, they will enjoy it knowing that you're there with them. You know what I mean? So you come and you sit down with them and you have this wonderful dessert that you made from love. Not stressed out about the ingredients or even how it looks. What I find is let it taste great. Okay, so now what I'm going to, like I said, I'm sorry. Everyone says I have an accent and I even hear it more and more. But yeah, I'm going to add. Now, I'm not concerned about the color. Artificial vanilla. I don't know if you can see it. Yep. Now, usually I would use a lighter color vanilla, like white vanilla. But guess what? Didn't have it. No, didn't have any vanilla. Please take a minute, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It is the easiest way you can support my channel. It costs absolutely nothing. It is free for you to subscribe. I know someone's under the impression that if you subscribe, this means that you have to pay. Nope. Leaving a comment is free. Sharing a video, liking it, absolutely free. Like I said, I wasn't concerned about the color changing, and it changed slightly. I don't know if you can pick that up on the camera, but it changed slightly. And guess what? Because there's nothing raw in this, I can taste it and see if it has enough sugar. I'm going to add just a little bit more. There we go. Now, I know you're probably thinking, she said blueberry lemon. We see the blueberry. Where's the lemon? Ta-da. Yep. Like I said, easy. And guess what? I'm going to let you in on a little secret. If you use gelatin, right? You can use plain gelatin if you want. But if you use one with flavor, what they call your flavoring, also, it helps it to set up. Yeah, think about that. Just use the gelatin or Jell-O that you like. If you don't like lemon, guess what? You don't have to use lemon. You can use any flavoring you like. This blueberry lemon, I don't know, it just seems to go together for me. And I'm going to keep stirring. I may use the whole pack. I didn't use the whole pack yet. And again, why I'm not using the whole pack, you can adjust this. So I'm going to taste it one more time and see, do I like the flavoring of the lemon? Yeah, I'm going to come in because I'm not tasting the lemon. So I'm going to use the whole pack. I'm tasting the blueberries. But remember, this is blueberry lemon cheesecake bars. Now that's that. Now, I'm going to put it in a pan. Now, what is that you're looking at? That's just parchment. Yeah, I'm always afraid of whatever I'm making not coming out. The pan, the pot, the bowl, whatever. So parchment will help for it to come out if I can get it to stay down. Okay, so when I start pouring, it should stay down. I'll give it one more mix. If you hear me doing, just stirring it. And remember, this is no bake. Yeah, I'm not baking it. If I was baking it, I would have to put eggs or flour in it. Nope. This is going to set up in the fridge. Now, can you put this in the freezer? Yes, you certainly can. Especially if you can't wait and you just have to have it. You just want to taste it so bad. I've done like that. Look how easy that was to make. I don't want any of this to go to waste. And trust me, it won't. I will be finishing off this myself with a spoon. And guess what? Because there's no dairy, because there's no eggs, because this is certainly dairy, but because there's no eggs, I can do that. I didn't put any eggs in. So I can eat the batter and not worry. Now think about that. Like, the little ones love it. And you want to give it to them, but you're afraid. If you have raw eggs in it, I would suggest you not do that. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a healthcare provider or anything like that. But what I've heard about eating raw eggs or anything with raw eggs isn't a good thing to do. Isn't a good eat. Okay, so can I put it in just like that? I probably could. But you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking every cheesecake bar I ever taste, most of the time, have some graham crackers. Yeah, I don't know why. Now, you let me know if you had cheesecake bars or cheesecake that didn't have a graham cracker crust. And if you were wondering, what is that crust that they have on it? It's graham crackers. It's simply graham crackers. And if you say, why are you using that brand? Right, I'm just using this brand because it's on sale. You use what's on sale. I'm going to take these crackers, just open them up. And I have a bag. Yeah. So, just going to put some of the graham crackers. Let me see if I can slide this over. Yeah. I'm going to put some of the graham crackers right in here. Now, you know what? The little ones will probably love this. To include them in this. This will probably be fun for them. So now, I'm going to break them up. Nothing special at all. I probably won't use all of this, but why not? Yeah, the little ones, they will have a kick out of this, especially my little ones. Yeah, nieces, nephews, or little small ones, they're babysitting. Include them in this. I'm going to keep crushing it until it's really fine. Can you use a full processor? Yes, you could. But I'm not doing that. Okay. So now we're going to put that back over here. And I'm just going to take some of the crumbs that we just crushed up. And I'm simply going to sprinkle it over. Yep. Look at that. Now, I think I'm going to cover this, and you're going to see why later on. I could stop just like that, but I'm not. I'm going to keep squishing this up. And I think I'm going to take something to help me. So I'm going to put that to the side, and I have a water bottle, or a bottle of water. If you had a can, you can use a can. And I just want to break it up a little bit finer. What do I mean by that? I just want smaller pieces. And I think the bit that's in the corner are smaller. Okay. So now I'm putting this back over here. And I just want to cover all of this. There we go. I just want to cover all of it. And there we go. Now I'm going to get this into my refrigerator. Every refrigerator is like people's stove. I found that out. My refrigerator may, freeze up in 20 minutes. Yours may take 30. But we're going to get this into the fridge and let it set up. Okay. Okay, so I set this in the fridge, right? And it took a little bit of time to set up. It took about 30 minutes for it to get the way I like it to be. Remember the cookie crumb? Not cookie crumb. Graham cracker crumb? Yeah, that's on the bottom. I know it looks like the top. I'm really going to try this and I hope it works out. But that's actually the bottom. This is a delicious dessert. And remember, this is actually our cheesecake, blueberry, and lemon bars. Okay? A little flip. There we go. I want to put this into the camera. I want to make sure you see. And this was so easy. Remember, this was no bake. So you don't have to worry about eggs. This is a real easy dessert. Just got my fridge was acting up. And I think it's because of the heat. They go to blueberries. Do you see the blueberries? Beautiful blueberries. Yeah. Blueberry lemon cheesecake bars. You know what? I'm going to ask you to do me a favor one more time. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It costs absolutely nothing. They go to cookie crumbs, but guess what? I keep on saying cookie. It's actually graham crackers. Does that bother me? Not in least. Now, just to show that it's actual lemon, I am going to try to make those curls that you see everyone else make. I don't know if I can actually do it, but here we go. Now, they make it look like it's so simple. Yeah, and I'm not getting it. So I know what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to do some slices. Yep. So let me set this over to the side. Yeah, what was I saying? I think I stopped myself in the middle of my sentence. Please take a minute, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and share the video. That's what I was going to ask you to do me a favor with. Yep. Here we go. And I just want to put these slices on. And you know what? I like for people to know exactly, sorry about that, what they're eating. So I'm going to take one little slice and I'm going to slice it very thin. There we go. And give this dessert a try. Maybe you don't like lemons. That's fine. You use whatever you like. But I just thought blueberries and lemon goes together. So now let me bring this back over here. And I'm going to take these lemons. Now, I don't know whether I should do it like this. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to see something. Yep. I think I'm just going to put these on. I surely am. Or, yeah, maybe I do it like this. Now, I know these are supposed to be bars. And I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to slice this to make this into bars. Because it's not actually supposed to be a cake. Or a pie. Yeah, this would be a pie, I guess. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut just like this. And it is still very cold. But it is delicious. And I'm just moving this over so that I can keep cutting. And again, I really hope you give this a try. Leave a comment. Let me know. You know something? You really shouldn't have cut it. You should have kept it together. But I did say bars, and I feel like if I don't cut it, then I'm not actually giving you what I said, which was bars. So I'm just moving this back and forth until I completely cut it. So I said blueberry lemon cheesecake bars. Yep. And this is a delicious treat. And let me tell you something, it's a whole lot more affordable for you to do this than for you to buy it. Prices are outrageous. And again, I'm sure we all know that, regardless of where we are. But let me know where you're from and where you're watching. Not where you're from, but where you're watching is at. And I have some blueberries still left. So what I'm going to do, put a little blueberries. Is anyone planning anything for the summer? I feel like it's going by so fast, but I'm going to take some of this off. I feel like the summer is just flying by. I don't have any plans to travel right now, not really in the budget. But if you do, let me know where you're traveling to. And let me know, are you going to try this dessert? I'm sure the family will absolutely love it. And you know me, I am just randomly putting blueberries. If you don't like blueberries, blackberries, any berry you like. I wonder if I can make this with mangoes. What do you think? You think this would have been delicious with mangoes instead of blueberries? I wonder. So look at that. Nice and delicious, no bake, cheesecake, blueberry and lemon bars. Until next time, enjoy.